Glasses on so I could see everybody. Hello, welcome. So glad you could be with me today. I hope I'm finding you all well, relatively happy. So just take a moment to settle yourself down on your mat. Let's just sit quietly for a moment and see if you can have a nice straight spine. Let your shoulders relax down away from your ears. Just take a moment to feel your connection to the earth, drawing up healing earth energy and allowing it to revitalize and restore you. Take a nice deep breath in and allowing yourself to relax more as you release the breath through your pursed lips in a long, thin exhalation. Just settling in to take a break for yourself. Let your eyes close now and rest. Turning your gaze inward and down to Brahmapura, city of the heart. I always remind you, the great teachers say that when we close our eyes, our outer eyes, the inner eyes can open. Take a moment to just watch your breath, changing nothing, feeling like nothing in this moment needs to change. Feel the cool air exiting your body as you enjoy another deep inhalation, remembering that you are beautiful and perfect in this moment, just the way you are. And letting yourself relax. And let's unify the energies between us, creating the sound of Om. And again, you can use home, H-O-M-E, if that feels more comfortable to you. So again, closing your eyes, we'll take a deep breath in. And as we exhale from the bottom of our bellies, we're going to create the sound of Om 3 times. Breathing in. Om. Just sit for a moment and notice if you feel a little bit calmer now after chanting Om. And again, when you chant Om, you're enjoying that long exhalation, which triggers the parasympathetic nervous system. And that's the rest and restore part of your autonomic nervous system. So that helps you relax. You can do that really anytime. Okay, so let's begin today in a reclining position. I'll give you a moment to lie down, making yourself comfortable. You can just lie flat on your mat or on your towel, whatever you have under you that would be comfortable. And let your legs rest straight ahead of you, maybe hip width apart. And feel the earth beneath you and know that you're supported in this moment. And then as you're ready to, turning your head very slowly side to side. So remember, the neck, the low back, and the knees are the weaker spots in the body. So we always want to be very gentle and slow moving when we're working with those areas. Just very slowly turning your head from side to side. And as you're ready, let your head come back to center. Take a breath in and let the breath out. Nothing to do in this moment. No one to be. Just to be right here. Now set the intention to pull away from life's complexities for the time we're together and let yourself draw into this quiet, sacred space that we're creating together. Drawing your fingers up to the sky, all the way up to the sky. Bend one elbow, put your hand on that elbow and draw it across your body towards the opposite shoulder. So you're stretching the back of the shoulder here. You can also pat yourself on the back for a job well done, right? Good. I'm taking the other elbow and going across. I just want to mention something as we're doing this exercise. When you make a hook with your hand like that and put it over your shoulder, where your fingers land, your middle finger, there's actually an acupressure point there in Chinese medicine for calming down. So put your hand on your shoulder And feel where your middle finger touches, and you can just press there, and that's actually a point for calming the nervous system. While I'm on the subject, there's points going down the center of your chest in the intercostal muscles here between the rib cage where you feel the bone. Between there are points also for calming the nervous system, and you can just sort of walk your fingers up and down that space if you're so inclined to, if you're feeling a little bit tense, or you can just gently rub that area, and that will trigger those acupressure points to help you calm down. Okay, so let your arms rest by your side. We're going to take them overhead to a count of 5. And when I get to 5, your fingers should be touching the floor over your head. And then when I count to 5 again, your hands should be back at your side. So this is going to help slow the breathing down, again, which triggers the parasympathetic nervous system. So here we go. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fingers touching the floor over your head. And exhaling, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Let's do it again. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one more time. Breathing in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathing out, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Pause for a breath and let the breath out in a long sigh and let yourself relax. Okay, let's bring the right knee in. Put your hand on that right knee and circle it around. Circle that right knee around. So you're really waking up the hip, and gradually increase the circumference of that circle so that you're really waking up that hip. I know it's the afternoon, but wake it up anyway. Big circles. Circling the knee around. Only one hand on that knee, because 2 hands will inhibit the circumference of your circle. You'll get a better range of motion with one hand on the knee. Bring that knee in, hold on behind the knee, either holding on to your opposite wrist or your opposite elbows. If you want, you can stretch that right foot up to the sky, pressing out through the heel. And then take that right sole and put it just above your left knee, just like that. Right sole just above the left knee. Bring your arms out in a T position, take a breath in, and drop this right knee over to the left side and bring your gaze to the right. So you're getting this nice diagonal stretch across the body. If you want, you can bring your left hand up on top of that right knee, add a little encouragement, but try to keep both shoulders pressed to the floor. That gives you a nice opening on the right side of the body. Very often tension lodges in our cells, in the small tissue of our body, and when we do these stretches, the reason why you feel so relaxed afterwards is because we work out all that tension, and when we release this kind of a twist, the body can relax. So let your right knee come out to the side as you would for tree pose. So the right knee is bent, it's out to the side, the sole of the right foot is in the inside of the left thigh. Press out through your left foot, flexing it. Interlace your fingers overhead in temple position, index fingers together, the rest of the fingers interlace, and lift the rib cage away from the waist. Don't forget to breathe. Then bend your left knee, cross your right ankle over your left knee, like you're sitting in a chair. Take your arms out in a T position again. Take a breath in, and exhaling your knees over to the left and bring your gaze to the right. So these spinal twists are really healthy for the spine. They help to nourish the spine. When you release the twist, which we're going to do in just a moment, you actually bring fresh blood and oxygen to your spine, which helps to restore it. It's very healthy for the spine. Good, so uncross your knees again, come back to center, put your hands on your kneecaps, and circle the knees in the same direction. Hands on the kneecaps, circling the knees in the same direction. Good, circle them in the other direction. Just giving your back a little massage on the floor. Good. Come to a standstill and stretch your right leg out. Bring your left knee in. Put your hand on that left knee. And again, make some really big circles with that knee, waking up the left hip. Then come to a standstill with your left knee. Hold on behind it to opposite wrists, opposite forearms, or opposite elbows if you can manage it. And if you like, you can bring that left foot to the ceiling, pressing out through the heel. Then release your left foot down, putting the sole of the left foot just above the right knee. Bring your arms out in a T position. Drop your left knee to the right side and bring your gaze to the left. So you get that nice spinal twist. You can bring your right hand up on the top of your knee if you like, but again, remember to try to keep your shoulders pressed to the floor if it's possible. And then let that left knee fall out to the side like we would for a standing tree pose, but we're reclining. So the left knee is bent, the left sole is right against the inside of the right thigh. Interlace your fingers over your head. All the fingers are interlaced, but the index fingers press against each other in temple position. And see if you can lift your rib cage away from your waist while flexing out through your standing foot. And then release your arms down, crossing the left leg over the right leg, like you're sitting in a chair. Take your arms out in a T position, dropping your knees to the right, and bring your gaze to the left. And then come back to center. Uncross your knees, draw both knees into your chest. Take your arms out in a T position and keeping your knees really close into your chest, drop your knees to the right and bring your gaze to the left. This gives the abdominal organs a little bit of a massage. Good. Come back to center and drop your knees to the left and bring your gaze to the right. And come back to center. Wrap your arms around your knees now and just rock side to side. Give yourself another little back massage. And rock yourself over to your right side. Press both hands into the floor, push yourself up, and come to a seated position. And I'll give you a moment to do that. Okay, so remember when you're doing these seated sequences, you can sit cross-legged like I'm sitting, or you can sit with your legs straight ahead of you, but I want you to be comfortable. And if you still find it difficult to sit with a straight spine, you can put a towel under your tailbone, so that'll help to roll your pelvis forward and you'll be able to lift your spine more comfortably. If I had a towel, I would demonstrate that for you, but I don't. So I sit on a little cushion and that helps me to roll my tailbone forward and makes me more comfortable. So feel free to do that. It's very important that you're comfortable and you don't cause yourself any pain. Okay, so let's let the arms rest out to the sides. We're going to take a breath in, bringing the arms slowly overhead. Palms will come together. And breathing out, we're going to lower the arms down. Good. Breathing in. And breathing out. Nice slow exhalation. Breathing in, and again, we breathe with the arms overhead. We get oxygen into the upper portions of the lungs that don't often see oxygen, so that's great for expanding our lung capacity. And exhale, letting the arms float down. Good, one more time. Breathing in and breathing out. Good, pausing for a moment, taking a full breath in and a long exhale out. And each time you take that long exhale out, feel yourself letting go and relaxing. Each time you breathe in, let yourself lengthen through the top of the head. That's the upward movement of the breath. The downward movement, the exhale, just let everything sink down and relax. Okay, so let's do that again. We'll breathe in, bringing the arms up overhead, interlace your fingers, stretch up, and with the exhale, let's round forward. Inhale, coming up, pressing up through the palms. Exhale, rounding forward. Breathing in, coming up, pressing through the palms, and exhaling, coming forward. Breathing in, coming up, and exhaling, we'll release the arms down nice and slow. Good. Breathe in and breathe out. Feel yourself relax. We'll breathe in again, the arms go up. Breathing out, we'll let one arm float down. Take a breath again, and exhale over to that other side. Breathing in, the arms come up, and breathing out, we'll float it down. And relax. Breathing in, the arms go up. Breathing out, the other arm floats down. Breathe in again. Exhaling over to the side. Stretching the side of the body. Breathe in, coming back to center. And breathe out, let your arm just float down through space. Good. Pause here again. Take that nice deep breath in. And that long exhalation out. Good. This next move I'm going to demonstrate for you before I have you do it. I'm going to bring the arms up on the inhalation and turn. On the exhalation, we're going to float the arms down. One hand on your knee, one hand behind you. We'll pause here for a breath. And the breath out. We'll breathe in, the arms go up and forward. And breathing out, the arms will float down. Okay, let's do that together. So we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, turn to your side. Float the arms down. One hand on your knee, one hand behind your back. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathing in, arms up. Coming forward and breathing out, the arms float down. It's not important that you get it perfect. Just do the best you can. Breathe in. Turn to the side, breathe out. One hand on your knee, one hand behind your back. Good. Pause for a breath. Breathing in. Long breath out. Breathe in, arms up again. And breathing out, turning to the front, letting your arms relax with the exhalation. Good. Pause for a nice breath in. And a long breath out. Good. Okay, we're going to do something different this week, just to keep it interesting. We're going to turn to the wide edge of the mat. We're going to sit with wide feet. So wide edge of the mat, wide feet. I'm not sure you can see the whole me, so let me move back a little bit. Feet are flexed, right? Toes pointing towards the sky. We're sitting directly on the tailbone, and from there we're lifting the spine, lifting through the crown of the head. As you flex your feet, feel the hamstrings stretch. Just pause there for a moment, stretching out through the hamstrings, flexing the feet. Excellent. Let's bring that left foot in, tuck it in. Now, the right hand can rest on your ankle, or you can take 2 fingers and wrap it around your big toe. Stretch the left arm out, rolling the thumb backward. Take a breath in, exhaling, arching over towards that right foot. And be sure not to cave your shoulder down. Try to keep, it doesn't matter how far you go towards your foot. What matters is that you keep the chest rotated up towards the ceiling. You could even imagine that there's a wall behind you and you're pressing your shoulder blades back against that wall. Pause here and breathe. Notice with the exhalation, you can just relax and let yourself sink down just a little bit more. Beautiful. Come up with the inhalation. With the exhalation, let your left elbow sit next to your left hip. Point the right toe, taking that right arm overhead. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, turning to your right. Keep the spine nice and straight, the crown of your head lifted. Take a breath here. Exhaling, turn to your left and slide down over this left knee. Inhale, coming up, and relax. Bring your hands behind you, fingers facing away from you. Roll the shoulders back, lift your chest and look up. Come forward and relax again. Good. Turn to your left, bring your left knee forward, sliding your right leg back. So we'll work on the upright pigeon. Now, here, I want you to imagine that your hips are really heavy. The spine of your head, the spine of your body is long. You're lifting up through the top of the head. So we think about, why do we do poses? Why do we even bother? So here, we're getting this nice hip opener, and we're getting nice length in the spine, right? So to facilitate that length in the spine, you can bring your hands up on your knee if you like. Let your shoulders relax. Now, if you find your hips are really tight, you can use a block or a wedge and put that under your left cheek so you have a little bit of support. If you have some books in your house, you can use books. You're going to have to be creative. So shoulders are relaxed, the top of the head is lifted, and I want you to see if you can feel that lift all the way from the pelvic floor up the front of the body through the top of the head. Take a breath here. Exhaling, coming forward, resting pigeon. Let your head come towards the floor. You can cross your wrist, let your head rest on your wrist, and just let yourself rest here for a moment. Inhale, coming up, and sit into that left cheek. Cross the right leg over the left one. Straighten the left leg out. So we're sitting now with a straight left leg. The foot is flexed. The right leg is crossed. We're sitting up nice and straight with a long spine. Stretch the right arm out in front of you. Keep your eye on this middle finger. Take it over your head. Let it land behind you. And then cross your left elbow over that right knee. And look to your right. Now this is a deeper spinal twist than we did before, but your spine is ready for it. Take a breath here. Exhaling, come back to center and let your head rest at your knee. Keep your left foot flexed because now you'll get the good stretch in your hamstring. Good. Come on back up, and we'll sit again facing the wide side of the mat. We have to do both sides so that you leave here being nice and even. Okay. Feet are flexed again. We're sitting with the tailbone driven straight down into the earth, connecting with the earth. We're sitting with a nice straight spine, flexing out through the feet, getting that hamstring stretch again. Good. Take your right foot in. Tuck it in nice and close. Again, the left hand, we're going to do 2 fingers, index and third finger around the big toe, or hold your ankle. You could even use a strap here, putting it around your foot if that's easier for you. Stretch your right arm out, roll the thumb back, take a breath in, exhaling, right arm overhead. And remember that wall behind you, you're pressing your shoulder blades against it, keeping a nice opening on that right side. We're breathing here, letting the whole right side of the body stretch and open. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, turning to your right. Nice spinal twist again. Looking over the right shoulder. Take a breath here. Exhaling, turning towards your left side. Inhale. As you exhale, slide down over that right knee. Inhaling, coming up. Hands are behind you, fingers facing away from you. Roll the shoulders back, lift the heart center, and look up. And relax for a moment. Turn to your right, bringing the right knee forward, again for the upright pigeon. So again, if this is hard for you, put a towel or a block underneath your right cheek or some books. And again, if you want to get that nice lift on the front side of your body, you can put your hands on your knees, let your shoulders relax, lift your spine, and imagine you can feel that lift from the pelvic floor right up the front of the body through the top of the head. Pause for a breath here. And with the exhalation, coming forward, resting pigeon. Now here, when you come forward for resting pigeon, if that's too much for you, you can put the block under your forearms, or you can just put your hands on the block and keep your chest lifted. There's always ways to adapt the poses so they're comfortable for you. We'll come up sitting into that right cheek. Left leg will cross, the right leg will straighten. So here we are again with a flexed right foot. The right leg is straight, the left leg is crossed over. Left arm's in front, fingers wide open. You're looking at that middle finger. You're going to take it overhead, let it land behind you to help you keep your spine straight, right? So you don't want the hand back here so that you're falling back. You want to keep it relatively close so the spine stays straight. Right arm crossing, we're turning to the left. Now that right arm you can use for leverage. You can press that into your left knee to get a little bit more twist, or you can let it relax so the twist isn't so strong for you. Again, feel free to adapt these poses or sit the ones out that aren't comfortable for you. There's nothing to be gained by making yourself uncomfortable. I'm pausing here, enjoying the spinal twist, and releasing forward. And again, we're going to make sure the right foot is flexed and head to knee, getting the nice hamstring stretch, getting that nice length in the spine with this semi-forward bend. And lifting your gaze, and let's come to a standing position. We'll pause here for a clothing adjustment, a water break, whatever you need to do. I've yet to find yoga clothes that don't need to be adjusted at some point. Okay, so feet are hip width apart. We're going to reach up with one hand, and we'll reach up with the other. And this is for those of us who have to get into the top shelves and we don't have a ladder. So reach and reach. And you also get this nice stretch on the side of your body. Reaching and reaching. Reaching and stretching through the side body. It's this delightful stretch. Feel the side body opening, responding to your movement. Beautiful. Let the arms relax down. Noticing the sensation in the sides of the body. Let your hands rest by your side. Bring your fingers so the fingertips face each other. And this is a movement from the Qigong tradition called Buddha holding up the earth, and you'll see why. So the hands come all the way up, bringing up that energy from the earth. We're going to invert the palms, press them to the sky as if we're holding up the earth. And exhale, releasing the arms down. Breathing in. And again, as we breathe with the arms up overhead, remember we're getting oxygen to the upper portions of the lungs, which is a great thing. We're expanding our lung capacity. Exhaling, arms float down. Inhaling. And exhaling. Letting stress fall out of your fingertips as they come down to the mat. Breathing in. Pressing on the ceiling and breathing out. Letting it all go. Connecting heaven and earth, the hands come up. One hand presses down towards the earth, a flexed hand. The other hand flexes and presses up towards the sky. We're pressing in opposite directions here. Breathe in. The hands pass each other. The pinkies actually pass each other. And we're going to press in opposite directions. And pinkies pass each other. And press. Breathing out. Breathing in, hands come together. Breathing out, pressing. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And relaxing. Good. Pause here for a breath in and a relaxing breath out. All right, we'll move into half sun salutations. Feet are hip width apart. Hands are at the heart center. Breathing in, breathing out, the hands release. Breathe in, upward salute. Breathe out, the arms come apart, we'll fold in half. Now here, when you come down to the floor, bend your knees if you need to. Breathe in, hands go just above the knees, flatten the back. Breathe out, hands float to the floor. Breathing in, hands come together overhead. Breathing out, big circle. Hands are back at the heart center, back home. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathe in again. Exhaling, arms release. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, the arms come apart, float, fold in half. Hands to the floor, knees soft. Inhale, come up, flat back. Exhale, float down. Inhale, arms come out to the side, palms reach overhead. Big circle, hands are back to the heart center. Breathe in again and exhale. Breathe in, exhale, arms release. Inhale, upward salute, lift the ribcage away from the waist. Exhale, arms come out to the side, floating in half, the hands come towards the floor, maybe the knees bend. Inhale, lifting up halfway, flat back. Exhale, floating down. Inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, full circle, hands are back at the heart center. Breath in and breath out. Let one hand rest on your heart, one hand rest on your belly. Let your eyes close for a moment. Take a moment to come back to yourself. Enjoy a moment of peace, quiet, and safety. And let your hands relax. So today we're going to do a little bit of a regular sun salutation. We'll just start working on that because we've been together. I think this is our third class. We'll start working on sun salutation and see how that goes. So you start with your feet hip width apart, hands at the heart center, and we've done this already in the half sun salutation, so this beginning part will be familiar to you. Breathe in, breathing out, the arms rest. So we're standing at Salutation now, which is standing at attention, right? Feet are hip width apart, big toe lined up with the inside of the heel. We're stacking shoulders over hips, over knees, over ankles. Excuse me. And we're standing with a nice straight posture. Inhale, arms go up overhead. We're interlacing the fingers, lifting the rib cage away from the waist. Now here's something a little bit different. The arms come out to the side. We're going to interlace the fingers behind the back, roll the shoulders back. The hands are rising up behind my back, right? So as I do that, I get this nice opening across my chest. Very often when we're walking in our everyday life, our shoulders kind of collapse in. So this helps our posture. It really helps to counteract that kind of slumping that we all get into, right? So we're going to roll the shoulders back, lift the arms away from the body, and then we're going to come forward. Right? So you don't have to come down too far if it's not comfortable for you. The hands continue to rise up behind us. And we'll release the hands to the floor. Just going to move up here a little bit. Take a breath in here. With the exhale, we're going to step the right foot back to lunge. Now, you'll notice that my back leg is straight. I'm not sure you can see that. I'm going to turn at an angle so you can see my back leg. Back leg is straight, right? The left ankle is under the left knee, so we don't want to hyperextend. Left knee over the left ankle, the back leg is straight. And you'll notice that I'm not letting my head curl down over here, right? Like I've got something to hide. I'm keeping as straight a spine as I can. My shoulders are relaxed, and I'm creating this slant from the top of my head to my tailbone here. Good. Okay, the last move that we're going to do today, we're going to step the left foot back, and we're in plank. This will make you really strong. Wrists are under the shoulders, and again, I've got that slant from the top of my head to my heels. My gaze here is on my mat. My head isn't cocked up. I'm not looking forward. I'm looking to the far front end of my mat. Good. Then put your knees on the floor. Walk your hands forward. Keep your hips over your knees. Stretch your arms forward. Let your chest come towards the floor for half dog. This is a nice relaxing pose. Hips over knees. The arms stretch forward. Breath or two here. Then walk your hands back. Let your buttocks come towards your heels. Move into child pose. This is a great stretch for the spine. Buttocks towards the heels. Relaxing in child pose for a moment. Bring your hips forward. So you're in a table position. Step one foot forward and the other. And we'll uncurl slowly, coming back to a standing position. We'll do that on the other side. Okay, how do you all do with that? I hope well. Let your hands rest at your heart center. Breath in and breath out. Breathing in again. Exhaling, arms release. Inhale, upward salute, lifting the ribcage away from the waist. Exhale, hands fall behind your back, fingers interlace, the hands rise up, and the shoulders roll back, chest expansion. Taking a breath here, exhaling, coming forward. Hands continue to rise up behind you. Releasing your hands to the floor. Again, you can bend your knees here. Absolutely. Take a breath in. Exhaling, left foot to the back of the mat. Remember that back leg is straight. My front knee is over my front ankle. I've got one hand on either side of my feet. Another important point. You don't want your hands back here. You don't want them forward. One hand on either side of that front foot. My spine is straight. There's a nice slant from my tailbone to the top of my head. I'm not caving in, right? This is, they used to call this in the old days, start of the race position. So you're in start of the race position. Let's step that right foot back to plank. Wrists under the shoulders. Nice line slanting down from the top of your head to your heels. So again, we're looking towards the front of the mat. The head isn't up, it's not tucked in. We're just looking towards the front of the mat. Good, take a breath here. Exhaling, put your knees on the floor. Let your hips rest over your knees. Walk your hands forward. This is half dog. Let your chest relax down. Then walk your hands back a few inches. Let your tailbone move towards your heels, rounding the back. Now again, if child pose isn't comfortable for you, you can take a pillow, put it between your buttocks and your heels, or two pillows if you need it, no problem. You can also put a rolled towel or a rolled blanket in front of you and let your head rest on the rolled blanket if you like, or pillows if you want to stack them in front of you. You can rest on the pillows. And again, we'll come up to table position. Step one foot forward and the other, and uncurl slowly, coming up. Good. Pause here for a breath in and a breath out. Good. So before we part company today, we'll do some balance poses, and I may have mentioned to you that I prefer to do balance poses on a hardwood floor, not on my mat. And the reason for that is the mat, well, this mat is meant for people over 60, which I am. You can see it's a very thick mat. And the thicker the mat, the more confusing it is for the bottom of your feet, because you have sensors in the bottom of your feet for balance. And if you're on a squishy surface, the feet get confused. The balance sensors in your feet get confused. So I'm always happiest on a floor. Some of my older clients tell me that as they've aged, the bottom of their feet are more sensitive than they used to be. And if that's the case, you may want to be on a thin mat or a bath mat to support your feet. The other thing you can use for your practice is something called Thurlow Socks, Thurlo. You can look that up on Google. And they make socks with padding in the bottom of the socks, the foot part of the socks. And some of my clients like to use those. But luckily, I still have the padding on my feet, and I'm happiest on a hardwood floor. And you can see what works for you. Absolutely. Okay, so we talked about balance the last couple of weeks. We know that there are many parts of our body that's involved in balance. So the important thing for us is to start out in good standing position. If your feet are lopsided and you try to balance, you're going to have a really hard time. So be sure that your feet are straight. I have these nice lines in my wood floor, so I can use those to line my feet up. Big toe lines up with the inside of the heel. Let your arms rest at your side and shift your weight over to your right foot. And just feel into the big toe, the pinky toe, and the heel. Remember last week and the week before we talked about the roots coming out from under your big toe, your pinky toe, and heel, and visualizing those roots wrapping around the core of the earth so you feel really grounded, right? The other thing we're going to remember is to fix our gaze, or dristi, which we talked about also, means fixing your gaze on a non-moving object to help steady you. Okay, so today we're going to bring the left knee in, put the hand around the left knee, and the right hand will be on your hip. You're focusing your gaze on a non-moving object. Let's make this a little more interesting. Let's take the knee out to the side and stretch the arm out in the opposite direction. Now, everybody's going to start from where they are and do what's comfortable for them. There's no competition here at all. This is for you. And little by little, you'll see yourself improve. Then we'll come back to center, hand on the hip, knee into the center line, and put the foot down. All right, let's try that on the other side. So step one in this posture is hand on the knee, other hand on your hip. You may be at step one, or you may be ready for step two. See where you are and do what's right for you. So step two, the knee goes out to the side, the arm goes out. Eyes are steady and focused. We'll come back to center and put the foot down. Okay. I find the first time I do things, it doesn't work out that well. But the second time I do it, my brain kind of knows what to expect and I do better. So let's try that again. Be on the right foot, left knee comes in, hand on the hip, eyes are steady. Phase two, knee out to the side, arm out to the side. We'll come back to center and put on the floor. Shake your legs out a little bit in between. Okay. We'll be on the left foot, right knee coming in, hand on the hip. Phase two, the knee goes out to the side, arm extends. And we'll come back to center and put on the floor. How did you do? Did you find that the second time it was a little easier than the first time? If you at home keep practicing that pose, you'll see that it becomes easier and easier each time you practice it. Okie dokie. So come on down to the floor. We'll have some time for relaxation. Find your way down to your mat again. Get yourself comfortable. You may want to get a blanket or a pillow for your head or an eye bag to put over your eyes. I'll show you what that looks like. I have one here, I think. Yeah, an eye bag like this. You can put that over your eyes. And if you have an eye bag and other people use it, just fold a tissue the long way and put it under your eye bag so that other people can use it too. The other thing you can use for your eyes, if you don't have an eye pillow, you could use a washcloth folded in half the long way also, or rolled up, and put that over your eyes. But it's nice to let your eyes rest in darkness if you're able to do that. Okay. So let's begin by taking a few long and deep uniform breaths. Gradually, gradually, let the rate of your breath slow down. By slowing down the rate of your breath, your mind and your body will also begin to relax and slow down. Continue with this breathing through each step until you completely lose awareness of it, having sunk so deeply into relaxation. As you continue with deep breathing, begin to consciously relax your muscles, mentally traveling over each one, telling each part to relax one by one, from the toes to the top of your head. With each exhalation, feel as if you're just letting go. Breathing out tiredness, breathing out stress, breathing out tension from that body part. With each inhalation, feel yourself breathing in relaxation. Relax your feet. Relax your ankles. Relax the calves and the knees, the thighs and the hips. Let your abdominal muscles relax. The muscles in your back and your chest, your shoulders, your arms and your hands. Relax your neck. Relax your skull. Then relax your face. Drop any tension that surrounds the eyes and let all facial expressions simply fall away. Relax your forehead and the sides of your face. Allow your jaw to sag, parting the lips and relaxing the tongue. Now, bring your attention within to the internal organs. Without trying to guess their exact location, picture the organs of the abdomen, the kidneys, the liver, the adrenal glands, the stomach, the intestines, the bladder, and the reproductive organs. As you relax each organ, picture the deep tensions and organic disorders within dissolving at your mental suggestion to relax. Picture your lungs and your heart. Feel their pace becoming slower, more even, and free of disturbance or tension. Visualize your brain and imagine that the steady rhythm of your breath is cleansing it of all tension, dissolving thoughts, soothing and restoring the millions of cells that lie within it. When your muscles and your organs have become relaxed, begin to consciously relax your nerves. Try and discover where those inner pockets of tension lie within your body. And as they reveal themselves to your inner gaze, mentally visualize the incoming breath dissolving these buried tensions. Expel their last vestiges with your exhalation, feeling that your tired and overworked nervous channels are simply closing down, and that communication between your brain and nerve centers is being temporarily suspended. Feel now that you've completely let go, that your mind is like a clear blue sky and the thoughts are like slowly floating clouds. Feel your body growing heavier and heavier as it sinks to the floor. Now, send your mind as far away as it can go from your everyday life. Leave your anxiety and your worry, your obligations and your responsibilities. Create a strong mental image of a place where you are completely free, completely at peace. You might want to visualize a sunny beach or maybe a silent garden. Retreat into this, your personal sanctuary, leaving only your body here lying on the floor. Be completely in your imagined retreat, in a state devoid of all fear for the future and all regret over the past. Secure in the knowledge that you are at home within yourself. Allow your conscious mind now to drift into that state of blankness. That state in which your inner intelligence works to heal and thoroughly restore your being on every level. Allow your consciousness to begin to return to your body, but don't sit up right away. Instead, linger in this twilight state for just a few moments. Maybe gently stretching your body in a way that feels most natural to you. Perhaps you want to turn your head from side to side a little bit. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. Maybe you want to stretch your arms over your head, stretching up through your fingers, down through your toes. You might want to draw your knees into your chest and rock from side to side. Let's see if you can rock over to your right side, pausing there for a moment, not being in any particular rush to come back. When you're ready to, press both hands into the floor and push yourself back up into a seated position, sitting with your eyes closed. And sitting comfortably now with a straight spine. Again, turning your eyes inward and down as if to gaze at the heart, Brahmapura. Let your mind take a moment to roam the interior landscape, be a courageous, curious investigator. Noticing what's arising in your guest house at this moment. And no matter what it is that's arising in your guest house, what emotion is coming up, see if you can hold a space of compassion and kindness, whatever it is. Pausing for another moment to be aware of the benefits of your practice today. Take a moment for gratitude for all that's good with you, all that's good around you, and all that's good about you. Connecting with the wish that we all share for peace in our hearts and peace in our world. And with one voice and one heart, joining our voices together in 3 ohms, taking a deep breath in. Joining your hands together at your heart center. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May the entire universe be ever filled with peace, joy, love, and light. May all beings be happy. May all beings be at peace. May the power that watches over all of our days bless us all. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Peace, Peace. Everlasting peace. Jai Bhagwan, Namaste, Shalom, peace, peace.